Hello, hope you're doing fine. These videos are getting difficult to record, but what needs to be done will be done. So, in this video, we will discuss about self-inquiry. What is self-inquiry? It is a means to attain self-realization. Self-inquiry is also known as self-investigation, self-examination, self scrutiny. So, the motive of doing this practice is to shorten the size of the mind. But I'm using this statement only to make you understand, as currently you are a beginner. So, brace yourself, and we are going to take a deep dive in the ocean of self inquiry. Do not get scared. See, spiritual concepts of Sadguru Ramana, he had to arrive on this land so that he can teach us about self inquiry, self surrender. So, if you do not understand these concepts in the first attempt, do not get scared. First of all, look at me. I needed 8 months to arrive at some understanding of what Bhagwan is saying. For the first 6 months, I continuously listened to those Yogesh voice videos of talks with Raman Maharishi. 12 parts. I continued listening to those 12 parts for the entire duration of 6 months, because I knew that until unless I listen to it again and again, I will keep on missing out on important information. So, what happened? At the end of 6 months, I started gaining some understanding. Then I moved on to reading him on Facebook posts. Then I followed his Facebook pages, all the quotations and Bhagwan's life events, experiences. Then I required another 2-3 months to understand what is going on. So do not be in a hurry. These things require time. Yeah. See, within us there is a false self, and there is the real self. Real self is consciousness. And the false self is our idea of being this body. So currently you associate yourself with the false I. When you are thinking of yourself, you are not thinking of the real self, because real self is consciousness and you have not realized the self till now. So whatever you are thinking of is the false self, which is the mind. So what we are doing in self-inquiry is that we are using the mind to kill the mind. What actually happens in self inquiry is when you ask yourself, who am I? And asking doesn't mean that you are simply putting up a question. No, you are searching for your own self within yourself. Hmm? The idea is to become free of the mind because mind causes misery. If mind is removed, imagine if mind is removed, there will be no overthinking. Hmm. There will be no thoughts of you being inferior to anyone, of you being jealous of anyone, of you being angry at anyone. Huh? All these thoughts occur in the mind because these are thoughts. So, all these thoughts are in the mind because what is mind? Mind is the bundle of thoughts. Bhagwan says, if there are no thoughts, there is no mind. Hmm. So, mind is actually a bundle of thought. So, what we try to do in self inquiry is one by one, we discard these thoughts. Hmm? And this happens in the beginning stages of self inquiry. So, how it actually looks is imagine you are having some thoughts. Let me demonstrate it for you. Oh, I need to cook today. But what shall I cook? And now, at this point, you realized that you have engaged yourself in the process of thinking. And now you are realizing that Bhagwan has told you to pursue self inquiry. So, what will happen is, oh, I need to cook today. But what shall I cook? Oh, self inquiry. Who am I? So, in the beginning, it looks like this. So, you need to bring your mind back to this question again and again. Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? And what is the benefit of it? When I'm thinking of cooking, walking, exercising, or when I'm thinking of different people, different objects, all these things are outside of me. They are not a part of me. Hmm? So, what? When these things are not a part of me, then I am, when thinking of them, my mind is going outwards. Huh? My mind is now in extroversion, right? So, what needs to be done is mind is needed to be turned within. Huh? The pointer of mind should move inwards. Now, how to do it? It is done by repeatedly bringing yourself back to this question. Who am I? Who am I? Hmm? You can replace this question with other questions as well. Or you can add a series of questions to this one single question. Hmm? So, if you are walking and you are suddenly overcome by thoughts, so what will happen is, as soon as you realize that, oh no, I'm again engaging myself in thoughts, you will ask yourself, who am I? Hmm. Then your mind may give you some different kind of answer. or it may ignore the question, who am I? And it may give you some another thought. It may try to engage you in a new series of thoughts and fantasies. Hmm? So you will bring yourself back to the present moment and you will ask, who is it that walks? Who is it that cooks? Who is it that drives? Hmm? So when you are engaged in an activity, you can ask yourself, who is the one that is doing this activity? Hmm? Just like I asked myself, because my mind was constantly chatting, constantly speaking when I was young. So I got tired of it. So much overthinking. I sat down and I asked myself, who is the one that speaks? To speak, two people are required. Huh? So this is how I started because mind was engaged in the activity of thinking. So I pointed out that activity of thinking and I held on to it because it was giving me pain to be thinking continuously. Hmm? I wanted some peace at least. So, what is the result of it? I arrive at silence. Now, silence is not usually the end of self inquiry. The end result of self inquiry is self realization. But what happened in my case is I went into silence and I went so deep that I stopped talking to everyone. Hmm? I stopped eating food as well. So I would eat just half chapati and then I would just tell mother, I can't eat, I don't want to eat. And then I would get up and go back because I liked the silence. I had no peace before that. The surroundings were quite turbulent. And within me, I'm trying to find some peace, and there is overthinking. So, where will a child go? What will the child do? So, the child sat down. It was an act of rebelliousness, defiance. I sat down and I asked myself, oh dear mind, why do you keep on speaking all the time? Hmm. So, this was the intent that why the hell do you always speak? Can you not be silent for even a minute? Must you speak all the time, creating all these anxieties and nervousness and sadness within me? So I started with questioning. Hmm? To think, two people are required. So within me, there is another entity who is always listening. Huh? So after this thought process, I arrived at silence. But due to surroundings, I could not hold on to that silence for more than I think 7 to 10 days. After 7 to 10 days, I was thrown into extroversion and then I lost this practice. But still, that state was available to me throughout my life. Hmm. So, how it came handy? It came handy every time I had some situation where I was nervous or anxious, huh? Or I need to make some firm decisions. So, in order to make firm decision, you need to be devoid of emotion. And I already had that zone of silence within. So, it helped me in taking quite a lot of firm decisions in life. decisions regarding to personal life, professional life, social life. So every time I needed to think objectively in a situation, I would go into that zone of silence, and from there I would derive a particular conclusion that what needs to be done. Hmm. So that practice, that self inquiry I did when I was young, it helped me all my life. So when you do self inquiry, what you are actually trying to do is you are trying to find the root of the I thought. Huh? I thought is the personality you identify yourself with. Hmm. So within you, there is this personality, this mind. Let us not call it personality. Let us stick to the term we know. Excuse me. The term we know, which is mind. Hmm? And then there is the real self. So our aim is to arrive at the real self by eliminating the false self. Huh? Now, what will happen is when you inquire within yourself, who am I? Hmm. This question, who am I, it actually merges into the source. It actually travels back to the source. By following the question, who am I, you can arrive at the origin point of the mind, which is the source. From source, mind emerges. Hmm. Let us read what Bhagwan has said upon this subject. Who am I? Self-inquiry. Hmm. So this book is Gems from Bhagwan. This is the name of the book, written by Devaraja Mudaliar. Hmm. Mudaliar is a very old devotee of Bhagwan. Huh? He was present when Bhagwan was there. So he was the kind of man who used to feel very dejected, depressed, sad, always feeling as if life is unfair and situations are against him. Hmm. So he would go to Bhagwan. Every time he'd see that, oh, Bhagwan is alone, I can go and talk to him. He would go to him and stand in front of Bhagwan like a small child and recite a song for him. Like, Bhagwan, see, I am singing a song for you, like children do. So he would also go there and stand in front of Bhagwan like this. And all this has been mentioned in books about him. Huh? He is quite popular. So he's standing in front of Bhagwan like this and singing. "Na, na, 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 na." And Bhagwan, being the great father of all, he is sitting there and nodding his head. And he is smiling. As many times as Dev Raja Mudaliar went to Bhagwan and tried to sing for him and recite poems for him, Bhagwan would always smile and nod like this. It was Bhagwan's act of making him feel loved and accepted and reassured that yes, I love you. Hmm? So Dev Raja Mudaliar has written this book. He has actually composed all of Bhagwan's most significant teachings in a single book. Huh? So if you want, you can buy this book. But the thing is, in this book, the topics are very brief. So if you want to understand every concept in detail, you'd have to buy other books. For example, Be As You Are, Day by Day with Bhagwan, and Talks with Raman Maharshi, huh? Recollections. So you can buy these books. Let us now discuss, let us now read what Bhagwan has said. Hmm? The thought, who am I, will destroy all other thoughts and finally kill itself also. Hmm? If other thoughts arise without trying to complete them, excuse me, without try to complete them, one must inquire, to whom did this thought arise? So if I read his words, I will definitely go into Nitidhyasana. So, so Bhagwan is saying that when a thought arises, hmm, without completing that thought, because when the thought arises, it arises with such force that you want to think about it. Huh? But Bhagwan is saying, when a thought is arising, and as soon as you become aware that this thought is not required to be completed, this thought is required to be inquired. Hmm? What you can do is, you can ask yourself, who is the one that thinks? Hmm? As each thought arises, one must be watchful and ask, to whom is this thought occurring? Hmm. So, as soon as thought arises, instead of feeling compelled to engage in those thoughts, we must ask ourselves, to whom is this thought arising? Huh? So, this is what I did when I was young. I asked myself, who is thinking? Hmm? So, this is actually the process of self inquiry. Hmm. Now, Bhagwan is saying, however great a sinner one may be, instead of lamenting, I am a great sinner, how can I make any progress? One must completely forget the fact of being a sinner and earnestly pursue meditation of self. He is then sure to succeed. Hmm. So, before a Sadguru enters your life, you will definitely do a lot of sins. Hmm? Because what else is to be done in samsara? In samsara, we have priorities. First, we want to secure ourselves. Hmm? That is an act of selfishness. If we are trying to secure ourselves at the cost of others' peace, huh? So this is an act of selfishness. Then what we do? We try to fulfill our desires while keeping ourselves safe and secure. So to do this, we manipulate others. We want to be safe, but the pressure of the desire and temptation is so high that we also want to fulfill the desire and release the temptation. Hmm. So there, a person learns to manipulate all other forms of abuse. Huh? So what is happening is there is this fear of being exploited and abused by others. So what a person does is he himself becomes the abuser. Hmm. So this is what you will do in samsara. There is nothing else to be done in samsara. Everyone who is living in samsara is either being hurt or is hurting others. Hmm. It is when a Sadguru enters your life, a guru like Raman Maharishi. When he enters your life, you realize that, oh, this is not the right way of living. And then you understand that now you must change your ways. That point of understanding, if you have the wisdom of taking it seriously, will actually help you. Hmm? Excuse me. I'm pausing for a second because I need to drink water. Yeah. So, your wisdom lies in taking that moment of understanding seriously. Hmm? Because Guru will enter your life and help you identify the problems, huh? Obstacles, why you are not currently experiencing bliss, which is your natural state. Hmm? You know, in our body there are three different types of bliss. Hmm? When bliss is experienced through third eye chakra, it is of a different flavor. When bliss is experienced at the crown chakra, it has a completely different tone. And when bliss is experienced at Sphurana, it has a different feel. Hmm? When bliss and pleasure is experienced at the third eye chakra, it is it is like a drunkard kind of an experience. Huh? So what happened was I could not even open my eyes. My mind here, my third eye chakra was throbbing with bliss and pleasure, and my eyes were so impacted that they could not even open. My eyes were fluttering like this, huh? And I was just sitting, and that state is different than the kind of bliss I have experienced on crown. Hmm? So back in the month of April in 2020, when I started writing those poetry, I started feeling Ananda. Hmm? And this Ananda was different than the Ananda I experienced here. Hmm? So this was like excitement, joy, and you know how a bhakta acts when he is in complete devotion. He sings, he dances, hmm? Just like Mirabai, just like Sant Kabir. Huh? So what happens here is it is excitatory bliss. Hmm. Then what happens with Sphurana? Sphurana is calmness, a very peaceful bliss. It is a cool breeze, hmm? Because Sphurana anchors you. So it naturally takes away your anxieties and nervousness. So now you are only left with tranquility, which is your natural state. Which is, I'm close to my natural state. I haven't reached there yet, but still, it is very powerful. So, within your body, there are different types of bliss. Huh? So, when a guru enters your life, guru helps you in identifying the obstacles to bliss. Now, your maturity, your wisdom will lie in your ability to take this understanding seriously. So, what is Bhagwan saying? However great a sinner one may be, no matter how many sins you have done, no matter how great of a sinner you are, instead of lamenting, instead of regretting, I am a great sinner, how can I make any progress? One must completely forget the fact of being a sinner. You must completely forget that you have been sinning before the arrival of the Guru. So Bhagwan is saying one must completely forget the fact of being a sinner and earnestly pursue meditation of self. He is then sure to succeed. Now, why is Bhagwan saying this? That you must completely ignore the fact that you have been sinning all this time. Because in order to succeed in meditation, in any sort of meditative practice, the requirement is innocence. You cannot proceed towards Brahman with cunningness, with a clever mind. Cleverness is a tool that helps you in samsara. It doesn't help you with the Guru. With the Guru, you must be honest. So, Bhagwan is saying, forget the fact that you are a sinner. Because if you can forget that you have been sinning, it means you are innocent. Only a child can forgive himself. You ask children when they make a mistake, what will happen is they will apologize and then they will go back to playing. But what do adults do? We go into that emotion of guilt and shame. And it's not just shame, it's malignant shame. We feel as if we are actually some great sinner who have broken so many hearts, who have killed so many people, who have done this, who have done that. Because samsara has taught us to criticize ourselves, to loathe our own self. We have been conditioned into self-loathing. So Bhagwan is saying, forget the fact that you are a sinner and earnestly pursue meditation of self. Such a man is sure to succeed if you are capable of forgiving yourself and follow the words of Sadguru, then you will surely succeed. So now that you know what Bhagwan is telling you to do. If you can pursue self-inquiry, it is going to be of great benefit to you. But if you cannot, there is another method available to you, which is surrender. Just tell Bhagwan, I cannot do it. I am foolish. I am as foolish as a child. I cannot do it. But I still want to be free of these desires, of these temptations. I still want to experience samadhi. Tell Bhagwan, I know this is my birthright. You give it to me. Why? Because now you are a child. You have forgiven yourself. You have proved to the Guru that your heart has innocence. And innocence is the conduit of wisdom. So Bhagwan says that a sage and a child are actually alike. A sage also cannot think of events after they have passed, after they have occurred. And a child also, when an event has occurred, child moves on to another event. But what do we do? As adults, we hold on to events. So, if someone hurts you, now what has actually happened? Excuse me. When someone hurts you, they are projecting some kind of energy to you, onto you. For example, someone rejected you. So, what kind of an energy they are projecting onto you? That you are worthless, you are useless, you are not required in my world, I have better people. So these kind of energies are being projected onto you. Now, if you are an adult, you will hold on to those energies. But if you are a child, you will cry about it once or twice, and then you will think, all right, I can make more friends. Then you will start searching for new friends. So, see, the neighbors are making a lot of noise. I hope it's not being recorded because I have this noise cancellation device, sponge, but still. So, when you become childlike, actually childlike, when you gather the strength of mind to let go of these projections, so samsara will always project its energy onto you. See, there is caste system in India. All sorts of energies are being projected onto you. Those who are in the upper caste, they are being projected, oh, you are superior. Those who are in the lower caste, they are being projected, oh, you are inferior. Those who are in the middle, they are being told, oh, you are mediocre. So everyone is dealing with projections. The one who thinks he is superior, how can he arrive at Brahman? How can he find God? He already thinks he is superior. The one who is thinking of himself as inferior, how will he arrive at God? He is inferior. He doesn't even deserve God. This is what he thinks. The one who thinks he is inferior will have this idea that I don't deserve good things in life. The one who is mediocre will think, my life cannot be great. This is the set path and I have to walk on this path. I will not look here, I will not look there. This is the way I should go. Everyone is dealing with projections of all types. Even if you are dealing with people and even if you are not dealing with people, samsara will keep on projecting energies onto you. This is how samsara works. So, it is wise to let go of these projections. Don't take anything seriously. Hmm? You know, if you sit in front of Guru and you tell the Guru that Bhagwan, this happened and I'm feeling very bad, you know what will Guru do? Guru will relieve your pain. He will fill you with bliss. And when you go and talk to your friends or anyone else about your sufferings, they will try to soothe you, but at the same time, they will have this feeling within themselves. Thank God this did not happen with me. Huh? Thank God I am safe. Oh, this man, this woman is always crying. So they will try to advise you. That is true because everyone has a good side and a bad side. So their good side will always try to encourage you, to guide you, to advise you, to support you. But still, there is a bad side as well. So if you are sharing some pain with them, they will feel some kind of a relief. Hmm? This is in human psyche, naturally embedded. It doesn't mean they are bad. It is how humans are. So they will feel some kind of relief that, oh, I'm not the only one who is suffering in life. Huh? If you share with them some good news, your accomplishments, so they'll be happy for you. But still, there will be jealousy. Really, this happened for them? Huh? So now what? If you are trying to eat something, the same example, if you are eating something and the food falls on your clothes, what will happen is the people sitting with you, they will give you this reaction of disgust. Hmm? But if you do this in front of a Sadguru, he is probably going to laugh at you. And then he will tell you his own story. You know, once what happened, I was there and I was eating. The Guru will start with his own story. Guru has no competition with you. He is already at the pinnacle. Hmm? Guru is the only safe place in samsara. You know why? Guru is God Himself. In samsara, there is no other safety other than God. Hmm? Our friends and family members, they are all humans just like us. And once you complete your Shravanan and Mananan, you will become even more wise and then you will be able to handle them. Then what will you go and talk to them about? Hmm? What will you share with them? When you know that they cannot understand your struggles, because now you will be having different sort of struggles. Now you will have spiritual tone in your struggles. Now what? So you must develop your bond with your Guru. Hmm? When you pray to Bhagwan, you will understand that when this bond is strengthened, you are not even required to pursue self inquiry. Huh? Because Bhagwan himself says that the purport of all sadhanas is to drop all sadhanas. Purport, the objective. The objective of all sadhanas is to drop all sadhanas. That means debunking the myth of sadhana. Sadhana is a myth. Yes, it is. Sadhana is for those who have not understood that they are not the doer, and thus they are trying to do some action in order to find Brahman. Hmm. You know what happened once when I was in Tiruvannamalai? So I was living in this apartment and I talked to someone about Sphurana and all, because people always ask each other, what are your experiences? How did you find Bhagwan? And people try to understand the level of other person's spiritual merit. Hmm. So I never tried to tell people that I have Sphurana because I know they will be scared. So, but I shared it with one man. Hmm. So now I'm talking to him and I told him that I'm having this Sphurana continuously for the past 1.5 years. And this man, he was a scholar. So he read a lot of books on Vedanta. I think he must have read every book that's available. He had been reading Upanishads for the past 10 to 12 years continuously. Hmm. So don't take this as a good habit. It is not a good habit. Reading these many books on the same subject is not a good habit. Huh? Once Bhagwan was asked, Bhagwan, how many shastras do I need to read? How many books do I need to read in order to attain self realization, in order to know myself? So Bhagwan replied, how many mirrors? How many mirrors do you require to see yourself? That means just one book is enough. Hmm? All you need is a conceptual understanding. You don't need anything else. On the basis of that conceptual understanding that has been given to you by the Guru, you can build up your own understanding, your own fund of knowledge by the process of contemplation. Huh? But this man, what he was doing, he was reading Shastras for the past 10 to 12 years. And when I was talking to him, I shared with him that I'm experiencing Sphurana. So, first of all, he got shocked that, is it real? Sphurana is real. I said, yes, it's real. I have been experiencing it. So, he said, if I were at your place, listen to this, huh? He said, if I were at your place, I would have sat down in meditation and I would not get up until unless I become self realized. So when he said this, I simply nodded. I said, yeah, yeah, okay. I nodded. Then he again said it. And I had to reply to this now. I can't ignore it twice. So I said, but you are not at my place. You are at your place. Hmm? I am at my place and you are at your place. So you must take actions from the place you are at. Huh? And I kept quiet after that. So people will tell you that you must do this, you must do that. Nothing is required. All sadhana, all reading this Upanishad and Shastras, it is only the trap of the mind. Hmm? mind wants to retain its authority, because the moment sadhana matures, the moment individual realizes that why am I pursuing this sadhana? I am not the doer. Who is pursuing this sadhana? That means Bhagwan himself is pursuing sadhana. I thought all this time I am the one who was pursuing self inquiry. It's not me, it's him. This is the moment when sadhana matures. Hmm. But in order to arrive at this moment, one has to pursue sadhana. So, this is the paradox. Do you understand this? Let me explain it to you. Hmm? In order to say that all forms of sadhana are myth, they are not myth, they are not required to attain the self. One must go through these methods of sadhana. Excuse me. Only then will you have the authority to say that these methods of sadhana are not required. The only thing that is required is self surrender. And once you surrender, what happens is surrender is the point when you realize that you are not the doer. Everything else can be a lie, but the fact that you are not the doer is true. So, when you are not the doer, how are you supposed to sit in meditation? So, this realization itself, it triggered me so much that I can't even pursue sadhana. I want to experience Bhagwan. I want to merge with him. Hmm? And I can't even pursue sadhana. I am totally helpless. What do I do now? Because when an individual wants something, when you have a desire, you also have the ability to take action towards the desire. But when you have the desire, but you don't have the means to take action, will you not feel helpless? So I felt helpless and I lost myself in that helplessness. And then what happened? And then I realized that Bhagwan is already within me. Who gave me this realization? Who gave me this Sphurana? Who brought me closer to the source? Even though I haven't read any book yet, I've only read 2 books of Bhagwan. One is of the devotees and one recollections, just 2 books. So, what I have read is I have listened to his videos on YouTube, just 12 parts. And then I have read some of his quotes and life experiences and teachings. Just some. I haven't even read his entire life story. And yet, Bhagwan lives within me. Not even for a single second does he leave me alone. He knows I am helpless. He knows I am good for nothing. Really, he knows that. If this Sphurana stopped, if I lose Sphurana, I will lose myself. I haven't done anything in life apart from coming close to Bhagwan. I left everything, everything. And then I am here. And there are people who are pursuing Shastras for the past 15 years because they have no faith in the Guru. Hmm? So, how is Guru supposed to give you wisdom when you don't even have faith in him? So, you are bargaining with the Guru? Huh? You are so big, you are even superior to the Guru. You are bargaining with him that first you give me wisdom and then I will have faith in you. And then you say that you are a staunch devotee. What kind of a devotee or disciple you are? You don't even have faith in your own Guru. I am sitting here without even reading books because when I go into reading, I fall into Nididhyasana. His words induce the state of Nididhyasana within me. Huh? So, what Bhagwan has said, if you can follow it with faith in your heart, you will surely, you will surely arrive at destination. Hmm? You know how much bliss I experience in a day? How close I feel to Him? You know, at this stage, the Guru tries his best to boost your confidence. Hmm. Because the path of sadhana, this path of spirituality, it's not easy. Hmm. So, what does Guru do? He tries to give you signs and feels and thoughts. He, he talks with you in order to keep you peaceful. Because when you are in this state, mind becomes a manifester. So, if you are having such negative thoughts where you think you are inferior and you will never succeed in life, then you will start manifesting this reality. Hmm? So, what does Guru do? Guru sits with you in your heart cavity, and from there, he guides the mind. So, what happens with me is, see, I am not immune to sadness in this state. Wait. So, I am not immune to sadness in this state. So, I am not immune to sadness and negative projections of samsara. I'm not. But the moment a thought arises, huh? If it is negative, it just falls out of my mind. I'm not capable of focusing on negative thoughts. I am capable of focusing on positive thoughts in this state because this is the short path, and in short path I think it is quite advanced even in short path, the stage that I am in. Hmm? So if in this stage I have negative thoughts, negative things will start happening. So it actually becomes Guru's responsibility to protect you from the negative projections of samsara. Hmm? So in this state Guru cannot leave you even for a single second because you are currently vulnerable. Hmm. This is the level of love a Guru feels for you. And what is happening to people? I just don't know. When Bhagwan himself has said, you don't require reading more than one book, just taking the conceptual understanding is enough. Bhagwan himself has said, have faith in me. I am here and it is my responsibility to bring you at the destination. Then why are you not trusting him? I don't understand all the devotees, not the new ones. I'm talking about the old devotees that are still lost in reading Shastras, and they are still doubting Bhagwan, bargaining with Bhagwan. Oh my god. So when I was in Tiru and someone told me, "Oh, you are going too fast." I said, "What? You are going too fast in sadhana." I was like, "What? You should read books." I was like, "Ooh, books." So instead of reading my own mind, I should read books. Okay, that ought to do it. So listen carefully. Have faith in your Guru, and first of all, have faith that he is real. Have faith that he exists, that he is not an imaginary entity. Guru is consciousness, and you have consciousness within you. In reality, you are the same consciousness, because we all are one, and consciousness is the same. There are not two consciousness in this universe. Consciousness is only one. There is unity. This concept of multiplicity, it comes from the mind. So if you exist, Guru exists as well, because you and the Guru are the same. He is the ocean and you are the wave. For time being, you are a wave and you have assumed your own identity. This is the example many Shastras have given, that Brahman is the sun and you are the ray of the sun. Brahman is the ocean and you are the wave. So if you exist, Guru exists too. And I am telling you that he is real. He is here. You can have faith in him. If you cannot have faith even in the Guru, who will you trust in samsara? Here everyone has their own agendas. If you can't have faith in your Guru, then what will you do? Have faith in him. So, in the description box, I'm adding 2 links. One is about happiness and the other one is about self-inquiry. If you listen to the happiness one first, what will happen is, it will take away your anxiety and nervousness. It will give you new insights about life, about your own nature. Then, when you have time, tomorrow, in the morning, in the evening, whenever, or the next day, then you listen to self-inquiry. Don't overburden yourself at this stage. Okay. Take care. Blessings.